How come you didn't become a writer instead? Why not go into literature?
Because in Britain you don't appreciate it as a writer, it's a big deal here, I mean, you treat it properly. You don't get, in Britain, might as well say, no, not really. Oh, you said it to Martin Amis.
Oh, it wasn't the same, sorry.
No, you're the only, you...
Wasn't it the same?
Well, English literature has gone down the drain too, so it's gone like American literature. It might be I've always thought that. I've always done the forward through... I wasn't going to write books, never.
Well, wasn't it the same also to start a rock band? Wasn't it the same also to start a rock band? Isn't that sort of like being on the go?
What is?
Well, starting a rock band, being a musician. I mean anything that's not like either you're a car salesman or a bankman or a doctor.
I don't know. I just think you got the best of both worlds because I'm a big music fan and I like literature, so you can do both, can't you? But did you see the concert tonight? I mean, it wasn't the most literal vocal performance, was it? Yeah, we are the fallen, we are the best. Yeah, we are the fallen, we are the best. Yeah, we are the fallen, we are the best.
See if you notice anything in this set list I'm going to read you. Thursday, May 13th, 1999, at Venue 21 in Luton. Birthday Song, Ketamine Sun, Touch Sensitive, Hurricane Edward, This Perfect Day, Anecdotes, and Therein, Bound, The Joke Again, On My Own, Shake Off, Fold and Money, Spencer Must Die, He Pep, 10 Houses of Eve, Big New Prince, Jet Boy, Old Gang, Anecdotes, and Anecdotes in B Sharp, and Ketamine Sun. Now, you notice anything strange in that set list, Steve?
We got 2 tracks off the album we're about to cover today.
That's right. And
Twice.
There's actually, and The Joke is played twice as well. There's multiple songs played twice in this set, and I guess this set was, I got less than an hour long, and it's 20 something songs, and I don't know. That's a weird move. That's a weird move to play not only one song 2 times in a set list, but then one song or multiple songs 2 times in a set list, and one song just back to back. Just play, you finish it, start it again, mate. Start it again. Let's get it rolled up. Yeah. You like that? If it's your favorite song, you might like that.
It might be good if you're riding the Ketamine Sun waves.
You're going into the hole. So we're in 2000. Can you believe we're in 2000?
Yeah, I'm glad you're all here. You made it through Y2K. Your computers didn't crash. Good job turning them off at New Year's.
Yep. Honestly, I can't believe that we're flying forward so fast, so quickly at this point in the fall, because I think it almost seems like it was flying quickly for them too, because they were not playing that much. And so there's not as much to cover opposed to what was going on in 80s and 90s. So we're in the 2000s and we got this album coming off of the Marshall Suite, which we surprisingly and unsurprisingly thoroughly enjoyed. So I'm actually really excited to get into this one, Steve. The Unutterable. What is the vibe of The Unutterable for you?
It's just kind of electronic blah, kind of.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, I think Mark has some great lyrics. I like that. I've been missing
Mm-hmm.
his big contributions, telling stories, making, interesting lyrically. Musically, it's just kind of blah for me.
You don't like any of like the guitar
I
playing?
I, I like there's a three, maybe four tracks on here that I'm like, okay, great. I really like that one. And then outside of that, the rest of them just kind of fly by. I mean, even talking before, we both kind of said this didn't seem like a long album, but it's not short, but I feel like it just kind of goes by. Hard to kind of focus in on and really dig deep and catch something that drew my attention out.
Dang. All right. I like that because I'm having the opposite kind of feel for this one where I'm like, I think this has one of the strongest sides of an album, even though we're in the CD era and we have 15 tracks on this album. And it's too many tracks, but I feel like this one side, this A side, is one of the strongest sides that they've ever put out in the last decade. I mean, for me, kind of easily the most interesting, mixed with like the best sounding, mixed with cool guitar riffs, mixed with guest vocals. I mean, do you like the guest vocals?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's the best album of this decade that we're in right now. The best one,
2000s
the best,
so
yeah,
far?
the
Okay.
best one they've done so far in this decade.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with you on that. But this is like this is just something that I was surprised by because I don't know. It's the album that Grant Showbiz comes back and is the producer. And since Shift Work, that was his last one. And even on Shift Work, he only did three songs, I think, three tracks. And I'm just like psyched to have Grant Showbiz back on board because honestly, why wouldn't you be? And honestly, I think he gets the best out of the band out of all of the producers that I think we've experienced thus far. Um,
Yeah. I think he gets it the most and is only pushy in a beneficial way. Like he's
yeah,
not trying to take them somewhere they don't want to go, or at least somewhere Mark doesn't want to go. And he's got enough experience around him that he can kind of lead the horse to water and make him drink it a little bit.
yeah, he definitely does. Like, and it makes so much sense because he was there at the beginning with them. He was there, and he was the one that heard them play and was basically the one that said, "I've got a PA system. You guys need to play shows. Why don't we team up? Why don't you play shows? I'll make you sound good. Let's travel around. Let's do this. Let's get some exposure." And honestly, I think it's part of the reason why probably they got that early recognition because they were putting on shows and he was making them sound the way that they should sound live. And Grant Showbiz is like he's good at doing experiments with them, but he's also knows what is the key element in the band. And I love the way this album sounds, mixed production wise. I think it's one of the best sounding that we've listened to, including kind of outliers that I like for different reasons, like levitate, which is just kind of weirdness mixing wise. But this one just sounds good and sounds great and sounds loud. And Mark sounds fucking awesome. He sounds in the front. His vocals are great even when he's laughing, even when he's slurring, he sounds like really in the mix the way he should be the focal point. Everything is mixed around him well. So it's really cool. And they recorded this at Grand Showbiz's studio in London, which he had since 1979, which is cool too. Like he's got it all set up and he's like finally gets an opportunity to record the band in his place in a decade later almost from shift work, so it's really cool. Steve, what about the new personnel? Who do we got on Unutterable, out on Eagle Records, and only out on CD? Kind of interesting.
Yeah, so we got the same five members from Marshall Suite: Mark, Julia Nagel, Tom Head, Neville Wilding, and Adam Halal. And then we got some guests: Steve Evans on vocals, Kazuku Hoki on vocals, Ben Pritchard on guitar on one track, and then Grand Showbiz on vocals.
Yeah, even Grand Showbiz under his real name. It's always interesting when the Fall does an album with the same personnel group back to back, and it's like solid. But it should be said that there was a point where I guess Tom Head, who plays drums for them at this point, they were playing some show, maybe a festival, and he got pissed off with Mark or got in a fight with Mark, and he was basically like, "Fuck off! I'm not fucking playing the show. Go find some." And then so Mark basically, or someone found another drummer, and I think might have been even Neville Wilding asking someone to play drums for them, or even Adam, and they found a guy in another band, and he was like, "Yeah, I guess I could do that," and he played like within the 2 hours he had to prepare, he played the whole set, and everyone seemed to agree that it turned out pretty good for only having like an hour to prep for a full like festival set. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, not a terrible first show, right? Like the festival was good. It's pretty forgiving.
It is pretty forgiving. You're right. It's not like a club show where like people are on top of you either. Like, and it gives you a little bit more sweat dripping down the back of your neck. Like, man, these guys really know this stuff. It's like a festival crowd. People are already kind of half in the bag as far as
And it's what? It's 1999.
yeah.
It's not like the Fall is headlining. It's probably a 3 p.m. show.
Mm-hmm.
You might be walking over a little late to catch them. You might be leaving a little early.
Yeah,
you might be at the beer tent just kind of checking it out while you get another drink. But
and actually, and basically, the band is pretty much still very, very new as far in terms of the Fall being in the Fall. So you show up and you see like a bunch of people on stage surrounding Marky Smith. You're kind of more or less like, yeah, I can't pick out if that's the correct lineup or not.
You're only looking at one guy that whole show.
Yeah, you pretty much are.
Like,
Julia. You probably know Julia the most, keeping the structure down. But yeah, that's just the way it is. I really like this album in terms of, like you said, the lyrics are standout, and it starts off strong, and then it also kind of has little things popping in the middle back section that really are cool too, lyrically, musically across the whole album. It's all sounding good, but I gotta say there is probably a reason why I extra enjoy myself when I listen to this album front to back. And it's because this album is missing something that a lot of Fall albums have been having for the past decade plus. Even, I mean, I gotta say, even 2 decades at this point. Do you know what I'm talking about, Steve? It's missing one thing that usually we're kind of like makes us scratch our heads a little bit.
What is it missing?
Something in the track list. Usually their albums have at least one of these things.
Oh, a cover song.
Yes, it doesn't have any cover songs.
No cover.
How cool is that?
I was listening for them, and I was just guessing that some of them were. Yeah,
you're like, I gotta. One of these has to be a real obscure thing that Mark likes.
Yeah. The pumpkin soup and mashed potatoes.
Pumpkin soup and mashed potatoes.
I was like, that's the cover. There was one other one. When I listen to it, I'll let you know which other one it was.
I mean, honestly, I could think Hands Up Billy. Hands Up Billy. It could be a rockabilly cover song easily, and actually, I think it is a rip of a riff.
Yeah, but it's got Whitney. Oh, that's Neville's name pulled out for some of it. I don't understand.
Yeah, no, that's Neville singing. That's Neville singing on that one, and so that's also makes it kind of sound like a cover where, like in the past, where Carl Burns has sang a song that is up his alley as well. So yeah, but I love that. I love that I get an album that is full Fall, front to back Fall. I'm not, there's no fucking weird little things in there just to, I don't know, because he's digging it at that time. It is really, I just like that. I just want it to be that, I mean, it's 15 tracks, and honestly, we can get rid of some of these, but we'll get into that too. So, Steve, I think we covered it. I think we wrapped it up. We're gonna get into the artwork too, which is the last artwork by our good friend Pascal Legrasse, but that's later down the road. What are we gonna lead off the album with?
Cyber Insects.
Is that him sniffing at the beginning? I always wonder what that is at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got a. Oh,
It's
at the very beginning, yeah, it's definitely him sniffing.
it's sniffing, but it's in one channel. It's in the left channel and then the right channel. It's just it's like, oh man, good on you, grand showbiz. You know, because a sniffle is usually just cut off the track, but not a sniffle copied and panned left to right, and then you start the album. It's kind of, I never have heard it. It's great. You like the sound of this one?
I do, yeah. The little bouncy keyboard is nice.
The keyboard is beautiful, but I know what I really like? The the guitar, it's so kind of wobbly and twangy, but wobbly, and it just fits in so well. And I don't know, it's just like, and then the interlude is cool. The drum beats go out. But I know what I really like? I like hearing the guest vocal by Kazuko Hakui in this track, mainly because isn't it great to hear a fall song with a non-British and non-American singer on the track?
Yeah, I mean,
Sounds cool.
I think all the vocals are nice on the throughout the album, where you're like, oh, it's not Brooks screaming fruit at you.
Yeah. But this one has like a sci-fi feel. And I think this individual, I don't know anything about Kazuko at all.
No,
But the vocal just fits perfectly in this future soundscape, almost like it's a menu screen in the future. Cyber insect is just like a weird, cool phrase too. What do you think is going on here? Because it's about this book of film. It's the book on the station track. It's the book of the book with the soundtrack. And then at one point, I think it's like a book on a station rack.
Yeah, I think it's just like a basic book, an airport book, that weird one that you see that you walk past and you're like, what the fuck is that? Like, what? What are they selling right now? Is this got anything? You pick it up, you read the insert, and you're still like, I still don't know what's going on here.
Yeah. It's like a book that's in the airport or on the station track, or like a train station, deep gift shop that is so generic, that is so hitting like all of the check boxes of like what would a normal guy or gal pick up and purchase. And it's just kind of like, it's kind of a thriller, but it's kind of romantic, and it's based on a show, or it's based on a movie that's been made into a show that you probably have seen, and you're just like, oh, yeah, that sounds good, I guess.
Like, and it could be good, but like any of those,
I don't want to look out the window.
Michael Crichton books, like, oh, what is this? It's like sci-fi, but based on like reality.
Yeah, it's an archaeologist in some future or past doing something that's kind of sketchy. Yeah, so I mean but then the cyber insect is kind of, I don't know. I like that. I also kind of hear in the musicality of this track the fluttering of digital wings. That's what that sounds like when I hear that synthesizer in drone in the background, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's the staticky is great. Like, it's not static, it's music, and it hits. Yeah, it's a super interesting sound.
It's like, it's so trippy. It's kind of very psychedelic, even though it is kind of propulsive forward. But yeah, and I don't know. This album just starts with that, and then I'm like, wow, this is I think we were talking about on Marshall Suite how they've slowly found the sweet spot of the electronic with the guitar, and this is where that sweet spot is even sweetened even more because they're doing now interesting things with that. Like they haven't just found the right kind of balanced recipe for those two instruments and the bass too, of course, but they have found a way. They've laid the foundation that has allowed them to make interesting experiments with kind of the balance of them now. And it's just really great with the little twangy guitar and everything else. Yeah, it's really cool. One of my other favorite lyrics in this one is, let me find it.
I was gonna say, what happened? We gotta. It's the year 2000. The internet's not that good around here. There might be some delays.
In its escarpment, burning over all the planes and trains, cyber insect, yellow moth fly, cyber insect, station clack, cyber insect. I thought there was a line about purple. Do you see a line that's like, oh, purple in its glowingness, golden roasting in its duly knowing? What, Steve?
Mhm.
What?
I didn't
What
know.
is that? Isn't that a fucking good ass line? I don't know what that's about, but I don't want to know. Purple
mean-
and it's glowing, golden roasting and it's duly knowing. Give me a fucking break. That might be one of my favorite all timers from Mark.
I mean, soon enough, once we get some AI general intelligence, we're gonna have some of these real cyber insects flying around, and just they'll be all knowing.
Dude, there already that already exists. That's called those satellites, those Starlink, all that bullshit satellites. If I'm looking up at the sky and I'm looking at stars and I got a fucking basically, piece of metal up there going across my eye line moving and it's not a UFO, then I don't, that's pretty much, that's a cyber insect that I'm trying to swat away.
They may have found the book. It's E&M Banks, The State of the Art, Unfailing Inventiveness and Wit.
What kind of book is that?
I don't know. It's just a book from the train rack.
Yeah,
It's got I got it here. It's got a beautiful cyber bee getting some pollen.
Oh.
A robot, silver robot, golden flower.
No, so they think that Mark
And
saw that.
This might be the book, yeah.
Okay. That's cool. I like that. Actually, I don't like that. I like it better as like a real. Okay, let's get into track 2 here, which is equally intriguing. 2 Librans.
I like the music, the hard rock. I think it's written by Tommy Neville or Neville Wilding. Sorry, it's got a good fall sound to it for sure. It's obscure in lyrically, but not interesting enough that you want to find out what it's going on. 2 Librans. There is a Libra born between September 23rd and October 22nd.
I barely missed it.
Yeah. So they were saying, Danny No is tracking it down to possibly this, that in Dick Witt's 1993 book, Nico, The Lives and Lies of an Icon, it says,
our friend, Dick Witts.
Yeah. So,
okay,
yeah, Dick Witts and Nico. So maybe Mark read this book.
Yeah.
It says Jackson Brown had been born in Germany exactly 10 years later than Nico, 2 Librans. So the fact that Mark may have read that, you could have pulled that from there.
Yeah, and if you all are familiar with Dick Witts, you need to go on our We Are the Fall Patreon and catch up on those bonus episodes, mate, because we have been on a trail. Yeah, okay, so that's interesting. I'm with you because that is it's cool. I love the music. I think the music is cool. It makes sense that it's a Neville Wilding track because it's so guitar heavy, but it's not guitar heavy for the whole thing. And I like that because in let's just say the Bricks era. It could be any era that's not him, not this era. It's a lot of the times it would have been the same thing throughout the whole song, but they
Yeah.
leave space where it pops into an airy place without the heaviness. And then when that heaviness drops back in, it's even more impactful. So I just like his guitar playing throughout this album and especially on this track because it just works with this. And Mark kind of going off on what do you
The-
think about the Oprah Winfrey studying bees?
I love the
Our Chicago
well, yeah, the
queen
Chicago Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, and so
at this time for sure.
yeah, there's nobody knows Oprah Winfrey. That I don't know why she's an Aquarius, so she's not even a Libra. Nobody really knows why she's a student of bees. The best thing that I'm gonna find here in a little bit is apparently there's a fake YouTube video that was put out at post date the song, but it's Oprah releasing a swarm of bees into the adoring crowd.
Yeah,
Audience.
the meme.
So,
I know that.
yeah. Oh, you
I know
do?
that one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I do now that if you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds good. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, because like everyone gets like you know how she gives away all the
Yeah, you
gifts.
get a car.
You get a car now. It's like everyone gets bees, and she unleashes bees on the audience, and they're all like, "Yes!" Ah! They're like freaking out. Ah! Oh man! But actually, you know what this kind of sounds like? He also saw like Oprah Winfrey's magazine. I think it's called O.
Yeah.
I think if it still exists, she was like the top. You know, at this point, she was the top. Like even people were saying she was going to run for president and things like that. So it was interesting time for him to pull her into
Yeah.
a track. But this will not surprise me to be another thing that eventually maybe even Danny No pulls up in his research, which might be an Oprah Winfrey O magazine where she's on the cover. Mark was traveling around touring and he saw the cover and she's like had her bee suit on, you know, on the cover.
Sure.
Like it sounds so spot on to like kind of the aesthetic of what she was going for in her magazine. And she was basically on every cover for a long time too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I remember seeing those in the, you know, the grocery checkout line and being like, wow, okay, she's got everything.
She was the voice of one of the bees in the Bee movie. But again, that was after this. So
I just like all the far kind of the longest line you can like stretch on your bulletin board. Connect it. That's great. I love it. I love it all. It's a great track. Actually, this reminds me. Aren't the Fall so good at starting off albums with the first two tracks? Like they're we know that they kind of struggle with wrapping up the albums, but aren't they so good? Let me just read you some of these first like 1-2 punches from some of these albums. I'm just gonna do a choice cuts. 10 Houses of Eve and Masquerade. DIY Meat and Das Vulture. The Joke and Don't Call Me Darling. 15 Ways in the Reckoning. Birmingham School of Business School and then into Free Range. How about Friends into Carrie Bagman? How about ROD into Dr. Faustus? Fucking great. How do you like Lay of the Land into a 2x4? And then maybe one of the best kind of 1-2 punches because they're so different. The Classical into Jawbone and Air Rifle. Oh man. I mean, I can go on. I mean, psychic dance hall into Figure Walks is probably the best. But you know what I'm saying, Steve? They're so good at those first two tracks for the most part.
Sounds like you need to come out with a compilation album of just two tracks.
The first two tracks. Wow, that's a great idea. First two tracks of all the Fall albums. That's basically a greatest hits. It's basically a greatest hits, but you get some weird ones too, which is kind of fun too. You get some, you get Seeing Harpy, Frank, which I want Frank on there, but you also you got to have Big New Prince but then you also get Overture from I Am Curious Orange. Like there are some that are a little bit, more on the outskirts, but for the most part, Mansion and Bombast. I mean, a lot of people will be happy with the greatest hits of just the first two tracks from the whole fall discography. So, Steve, we're 2 tracks in though. That raises the question: are we going to continue the vibe, or are we going to go off the rails? What do we got for track 3?
WB.
The WB.
No one knows what that is.
No one knows what
they weren't watching the Oprah and then turning on the WB.
No, we're watching fucking Chicago fucking antenna TV, bad reception TV, static TV, the fucking kind that Mark loves. I really love how cool this one is.
I like that it's got the blues riffs, but it's not a cover. Like I feel like most of the stuff that gets really bluesy is a cover for them.
Yeah, so you hear it as kind of blues. I hear it as kind of, I know what you're saying with by blues. I hear it as kind of like another one of Mark's favorite themes and sounds, the detective theme.
Yeah.
It's really a cruising with the light on the top of the car, the police detective light that you throw onto the hood with the magnet, and you're just cruising around, maybe doing some illegal bad things because you're a bad cop, as Mark would be. Little sketchy side deals, checking in, going to the bar, going to the pool hall, getting payments, getting paid off. That's what this song just has the essence of.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also like the punctuation on the WB on this? W period B?
Yeah, so it's William Blake.
I should have known it was William Blake. It's his favorite. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I should have known.
Oh yeah, poet for 1757 to 1827 he lived.
Of
a
course.
lot of the lyrics he stole from A Song of Liberty.
Oh, so he took lyrics from his poem in this one.
Yeah.
I mean, it is set in London, and he said you've heard about that, Blake. I never could catch that he was saying Blake though, because sometimes I was like, you've heard about that fake would be cool too, but I should have known that it was a little bit of that. Heaven and hell, look up, the fire is falling. Yeah, he loves that.
Yeah, the eternal female groaned. It was heard all over the earth. Albalon's coast is sick, silent. The American meadows faint. Shadows of prophecy shiver along the lakes and rivers and mutter across the oceans. France, rend down thy dungeon. Golden Spain, burst thy barriers of old Rome.
Okay, enough. That's too much for me. That's too much. Oh, but there is a line in here. Flaming hair shot through the streaking sun over him. Oh, merchant, leave thy oil. Oh man, come on! Like, I'm a sucker for the couplets where I can just have those and then just be like, in my mind, it just like kind of just goes off, just goes off into something in some area. Oh man, I like this song musically and lyrically. And lyrically, I'm still kind of not. It's so visual. It's so descriptive visually that I like it a lot, and I like it a lot more. I think he's doing that because sometimes he's a lot more of like describing the interaction more than the kind of environment. And I think the William Blake is good at describing the environment, and I think that's why he's pulling from it as a little, hey, this is what I like. Would like that in my album as well.
I think we were both kind of missing these Mark stories, poems, just his own kind of creation of the world around him in lyrics, right? Like, I don't know how well he's done it in the last couple albums where you're like, oh yeah, this is something special.
That's right. That's right, because we do both appreciate when he is like actively trying to be beautiful with the words instead of just abstract because the lines are interesting next to each other, right? It has to have like the dual component of the like the beauty in the description, but also it has to have a vividness to it. And sometimes it's like complete abstraction, which is interesting to delve into, but it's not that kind of easy for you to immediately connect with. Let's think it's hooking right away. But this one is cool. But speaking to this point, Steve, the story, let's get into the next track because we're getting a revisitation to one of his characters. I believe maybe the offspring of his character. Maybe Mr. J Temperance has come back because we have the Sons of Temperance. I like how blown out that speaker is that the guitar is playing through. So
Yeah,
flubbed up.
I didn't. You wonder if they were going for it or if Mark just said, "Don't stop."
I mean, you know how they always said that the Kinks invented that like distortion from poking a hole, like
Yeah.
from poking. They always there's so many stories of it poking holes in the speaker with their mom's sewing needles. But honestly, that sound just sounds like overdriven amp compared to this, which actually sounds like someone actually poked holes in the speaker with actual sewing needles. Like this actually sounds like what that story said they did. But isn't it so fun? It fucking rocks at the beginning
It
and then
does.
goes
Yeah.
into outer space. A minute in, we're going into electronic outer space.
I'm gonna. You probably don't want to know this fact because I listened to it thinking this was also about Jay Temperance's sons, but the sons of
Oh, okay, go ahead.
yeah,
Ruin it for me. Ruin
I'm
it
gonna
for me.
ruin it for you.
With research.
The
Okay,
Sons
tell
of
me.
Temperance is a fraternal organization founded in 1842 to further alcohol temperance, and it came to Britain. It started in the U.S. and came to Britain in 1849. So
Oh,
disappointing.
but that gives me
it's double.
no,
You
but
never
that
know about
I
Mark.
like no, but that makes sense. But I like that too because it's related to it's kind of like the anti-Mark ethos,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and then it's like a family of these members. And that's kind of cool. Like that's kind of like an army that Mark is fighting against.
Yeah, exactly. His mortal enemy, right?
Yeah, his
Never
mortal
giving
enemy.
up. I'm gonna
Yeah.
drink enough. I'm gonna drink enough for all of us. If you guys aren't drinking, I'll have yours.
Honestly, his immortal enemy. Because even if that J Temperance is not related, it's kind of I have more appreciation for the J Temperance character now because it has this Sons of Temperance. Like, you know, what if that character went on and then his kids were like, no, our father was so fucking crazy and wild in all of his experiments and his drunken fucking stupor, making all sorts of beastly creatures that you would never want to experience in your life. We need to create an order, an establishment, a cult that will ensure that everyone is straight edge, straight laced. Make sure that this never happens again. That would be fucking great. Oh man. Come on, Mark. Get on that one. But I love the guitar work in this song. It's like they
Yeah, the
got the
outer
fucking
space,
twang.
the
Outer
the
space.
the speed of the guitar, and then the breakdown into the
Mm-hmm.
with the guitar and the space noises. Yeah,
It's totally excellent. I mean, the first four tracks on this is what I was saying at the beginning. It's so strong. I am not I mean, I can't ask for anything more. Honestly, I'm
you
just so
know.
pleased with myself.
You're making me eat my words here a little bit at the beginning of this. I guess
Well, don't worry. There's a
there's
backside.
plenty. There's plenty of room.
There is plenty
I
of room for
yeah,
everyone's interpretation of this album. Yeah.
like we said, Mark's enemies here. Even just like straight from the beginning, the one other thing's for sure, division in my soul.
Huh.
This last two lines.
Yeah.
Punk art person, was you my son?
Yeah.
You're an androgynous piece of slop.
Yes. Yeah. That's what punk art person. Was you my son? Oh my God. Yeah. Oh man. And also, doesn't he say something about present crypto moralist nation? Like, what is it? It was a crypto moralist nation. That's the nation that we fucking live in currently. This fucking
Yeah.
dystopian crypto moralist nation. Everyone talking about morals, but there's no fucking such. There's no fucking such thing in the realm that those those people interact in. So yeah, this is really good. Even like the talking about dark distortions of the past, it's another one of the great Mark techniques where it's alluding to the past, but it's also distorting the past and actually like recreating it and recreating this kind of group of people that is the pro moralist, abolition in your mind, in your brain, in your soul. Oh man. And then just
Yeah.
add a bellhop.
He's almost like that a cool history teacher who's like, oh, don't worry, guys. Like, I'm gonna bring this to present day. Like, this. I know it happened a long
Yeah.
time ago, but it's
Yeah.
still interesting. Pay attention.
Hmm. He's like the history teacher where it's like, I know this stuff, but then also it was in, I know this stuff and I love this stuff, but also it could have been way more interesting.
Yeah, or I can pull out the parts that is going to keep a high school kid interested, and I can talk about
Mhm.
those parts a little bit more than the boring parts.
Yeah. I mean, the most interesting part about history is that we're talking about human history, is that it's all just regular people, basically. Like I mean, that's what I believe. It's like no one is fucking that much on another level, making decisions or something like that.
No, and they're we're all the same. Like we're not any smarter than they were, really.
No,
Like it's
no.
all on the same
Yeah.
level of consciousness and morality, and
Hmm.
like it's the same decision we make today that they were making, 100 years ago.
Yeah. And that's the thing where it's like Mark is probably looking at that and being like, that is interesting that that guy did that, or that old kind of king did that. But it's also kind of boring too because they're just normal fucking bloke. And what if I just make it way more interesting
Yeah.
with a little bit of distortion, with a little bit of evil, extra evil?
Extra evil. Why don't I bring the
Yeah.
Nazis into
Yeah, that's what I was
1540 England? That'll be
that's part
better.
of the thing he's fucking getting off on for sure easily, is that he wants to be dangerous in his writing. And also, what's the most invigorating and kind of interesting and exciting thing to do? It's to do something dangerous. And so that's why he's trying to put that into his songs. So it makes total sense that he puts it in there, and almost as an instigation to maybe even to himself, when he's putting the N-word in songs too. It's kind of like it's a play on, yeah, this really happens, but it's also kind of like, man, can I really just do this because I just want the fucking pure reaction? It's
Oh
just the
yeah.
pure reaction. It's not even about the actual, like, he's not writing from that perspective. It's not, it's even just kind of get something out of it that's like on that level. It's just a rock and roll thing, basically. When you've been doing it for so long, you need a reaction
Yeah,
to
exactly.
to move forward.
He's not writing love songs. He's not writing pop hits that he
No,
doesn't care about. You gotta
make the art.
you make the art. Even just wake up the art or the person listening. Not wake up the artist too. Wake
Yeah.
himself up.
Mm-hmm.
Like how can I take
Mm-hmm.
this to a level that's not
Mm-hmm.
another one of the 1,000 tracks that's going to be written this year?
Totally.
Bring the
He's got.
people out of their seats. Like, oh shit, what did he just say? Like, let me rewind that and listen again.
Yeah. I always wonder who it was that he wrote for after himself, because most artists have their muse or whatever, but that it's mostly you're making something to that really makes you kind of be like, what? That came out of me? Basically, that came out of me. Like, you're always trying to do that thing. But then the secondary thing is there's usually like one person or someone or like a group where you're like, I would kind of like them to acknowledge that this is so good the way that I know that it's like creative, like
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
one extra step.
Who's that small audience that you really want to have
Yeah.
love you, right?
That's right. That's right. And speaking of that, maybe that friend, let's get into the next track, Steve.
Dr. Buck's letter. You like the machines?
So yeah. I mean, I still think this is really moving along nicely on the side A. Dr. Buck's letter. Yeah, I like the machine sound. I like the. It's kind of slogging along, but then Mark's delivery is a little bit unique because he's kind of. I don't know. How would you describe the way he's delivering those lines? At the beginning, it's totally different than the end, right? Because he's like, you know, I lost my temper with a friend, with a friend. It's kind of morose, depressed sound. But then at the
Yeah.
end, when he's reading the checklist of the little the little thing, it's totally different because then he's even laughing. So it's a great juxtaposition in emotion.
It seems like an emotional piece to him. Grant Showbiz said that Mark did have a letter in front of him that he was looking at when he recorded these lyrics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then Grant doesn't really. What does he say? Yeah, he had a letter in front of him. Any further details of the background and the doctor's identity are unnecessary, and they should remain private.
Huh.
Danny No says in the second fall lyrics book, there is a letter to Smith from NutriHealth International and Dr. Buck MD about prostate problems.
Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. Because then he also at one point says, Jay McCarthy, approximately 10 to 15 days. I got down. I was depressed. It was Dr. Buck's letter. See, and opening the envelope, welfare benefits reports. This is all cool. This is all interesting. I really like the first part of this song. And I also like the second part when he's reading the Essence of Tong checklist. I think some people like that a little bit. I mean, it's funny, it's hilarious, but I think it kind of takes away from like a good song and it just adds kind of a nice little a nice little kind of fun trivia thing where of course Danny No found the interview where it had Pete Tong, the DJ's favorite things. Right? Is that right, Steve?
Oh yeah.
He's got I guess it's like an Airplane magazine. Danny No found it. And this is also a author Steve Pringle of You Must Get Them All book. He says that this is probably maybe his favorite fall song ever. And I don't know about that. I mean, it's a good song. It's a solid song. It's got cool elements as far as being great lyrically and interesting, and then also having that fun kind of, like I'm saying, kind of like a fun little Easter egg at the end, and Mark laughing at himself reading that because it is so fucking outlandish, talking about Palm Pilots being updated by his secretary and stuff like that. But this is not even in my top 10. Is this close to your number
No,
one choice?
I mean, no, that's not the fall sound I'd go
No,
to.
I
It's
want
not
the
bad.
edge. No, it's not bad.
It's
It's a good song.
and they use the machines well to replace Henley's bass. I think you're not missing it. Not that there's not bass on it, but yeah, not exactly the sound I was going for.
It's a
And
great song in this track list, though. At Spot.
spot, yeah, no. So far they've done well, which they typically can't. They can't do it for this
Yeah.
long. Yeah, Julia did say that Adam Halal composed all of it on the Pro Tools machine. Slow, low bass loops.
Yeah, he does get credit for working Pro Tools, which is kind of cool because it is like a new technology at that point, basically a DAW or like a digital recording interface. So that's kind of fun too. Great spot in the track list, good sound, a nice little kind of pull back in
Yeah. Speed
feeling,
and feel, yeah.
speed, aggression, edge to it.
A
I
good,
mean,
good slow song for them, right? Like
yeah,
didn't last forever,
yeah.
but it got the point across. The feeling was there.
The thing is, this song is 5 minutes long, Dr. Buck's Letter, and it doesn't seem like 5 minutes because it's almost two separate concepts. And I think that's also what makes it kind of flow. And it's a perfect transition in the middle from him to go from depressed. He even says the word depressed in the lyrics as he's reading them. And then he goes into a total different dynamic. So, I mean, it does, it's obviously grown on me and it might be growing on me further as like a great conceptual piece for them, which is always interesting. Totally different, like almost like a two-face, a two-face side, two sides of a coin. Man, it's cool. I wish that was almost the halfway point of the album, but it's not. Let's
Not
get
there yet.
into no. Let's get into Hot Runes.
I almost wish they went twangier than they're almost there. I
Oh
think it could have
yeah,
been
okay.
just go all the way.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like they didn't have it turned up. They didn't have it turned up enough. I'm with you totally. It is. It's almost like too safe. It's too safe. It's like they had it just like mom's upstairs taking a nap, it just gotta
Yeah.
tape it down a little bit. But yeah, if it had a little more twang to it, I almost I almost think that this song could have been on an early fall album as an interlude like this. It
Yeah.
just has a vibe to me. The simplicity, the repetitiveness, the Mark's great lyrics. The Hot June Summer Afternoon doesn't really do it for me. I wish there was something else repeated instead of those lyrics, but the rest of the lyrics are fucking unbelievably good. Alan Brazil and Haddon on about discipline for all, involved in the he says hyperbole. Right, instead of
Hyperbole, yeah.
hyperbole, it's like hyperbole. That's fucking great too. Hyperbole about the track checklist. Post office workers are those who sit alone. The promises they gave casual, used them before. They've turned all cities into animal pens. And then the last line in it is upset and bare skint in a tie. Like, that's fucking great. I love that a lot. Get it a little more twanged up, and also maybe don't do the backing gang vocals. I think for this one,
Yeah. Then it's not that song. Have you listened to?
it's a little too loungy.
Have you listened? Yeah, it is. That's why I want the twang. I want it to go
Mhm.
more.
I do too.
Have you listened to the bonus deluxe edition? Because apparently it's
Yes.
entirely different and very Julia heavy. I have
Yes.
not, but
Yeah, it is.
yeah. Alan Brazil and Derek Hatton are football commentators.
Okay, I was wondering about that, and that's not too surprising, I guess. I mean, there's either going to be a football commentator, a military war hero, or a political figure, or
Well, you're kind of close. So Alan Brazil is a former footballer, but Derek Hatton is a former Trotskyist and Labor Party politician turned radio host and sports commentator.
bingo.
So you got it all. Tick those boxes. Tick all the mark boxes. Got to bring him up.
We're gonna start popping one every time we get one of those. Good. That just means we've been listening to just the right amount of fall. So let's get into the second to last track before we flip this CD over, and let's get into Way Around. This one should really not be as entertaining as it is.
This is as far as fall tracks go that are not the best, but I love. I don't even want to know I say I love this, but it falls in the same category as LA for me.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, that 80s action movie, no, laser noises and just electronic, just weirdness. You're just like,
with these lyrics. I mean, come
yeah.
on. These lyrics are so off the wall funny. Like, walk through a crystal maze you created and entered values as Vikings enter. Leathered to 70s shoeboxes into glass, into glass. I stumbled into glass disco sweatboxes and leathered to 70s and still do not know it. I hit the roundabout. I mean, this is. It shouldn't be this good, but it only. I think we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
There's very subtle time. There's times when a song can be elevated in the fall domain by purely Mark's lyrics. And this is one of those cases.
And Julia sets the perfect scene for this song.
What'd she say?
Mark lost in a disco.
Mark lost in a disco.
Just fucked up, walking lost. Just can't
Yes.
can't find his way back to the table. Can't get out. Doesn't just bouncing into glass walls.
He lays down. He lays down.
Leather.
There's a good story from this kind of era where Mark was passed out on the bus. Just like literally everyone was looking for Mark and they just found him passed out of the bus, like lying on the bench seat with his shirt off, just completely passed out. And then they had to get on the stage. And so Neville was like, he went in there and he was like, Mark, wake up, wake up, wake up. And he couldn't wake him up or anything. He's like, so I just punched him in the face. He's like, I punched him in the face and he stirred a little bit, but he didn't get up. He's like, I punched him in the face again. I punched him in the face 2 more times and he got up. He said he got up, he walked on stage, he's all fucking bleeding from his face. And he's like, you need to put on this show. He's like, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good show. It wasn't a good show, but he was out there doing it. Oh, the man could not be bothered if he was like in a fucking on a wavelength. It was not going to be, it's not easy to get him off that track. But that's Way Around. And that's the first one where on this album where I'm like, that as an interlude, great. It's 2 minutes long. It's fine. It could be shorter. It could be.
It's 3 minutes long, I think.
Oh, it's 3 minutes long. It could be way shorter.
Yeah, I mean,
shorter.
You got Hot Runes and Way Around. Both of them could have just been burn it up songs, or I mean, I don't think they need to take him out, but
how about put them together like the next track?
Exactly.
Put them together and cut them down. Put them together. But speaking of that, so this last track for this side, we have Octo Realm and Ketamine Sun, and we're gonna just to wrap up this side. We're just going to get into the Octo Realm and let's just see how this part goes. And on side B, we'll just get into that beautiful Ketamine Sun.
What does this remind you of? Because it only reminded me of one thing, or maybe not exactly one thing, but the same thing, which was, go ahead, you guess.
It's kind of like select a character in an old video game. You're going over the character and then it's like, I'm Ketamine Sun. Well, I'm Smith. You're picking your guy. What are you hearing?
So it is the start of every shitty 90s reality TV show, like The Real World, where you're getting the same introductions every single time.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I'm Julia. Yeah.
I'm Brad.
I like to craft.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think that is kind of what they're doing.
I think they would have had to be
taking the piss out of it.
Yeah.
I just like that Mark is like, I'm Smith in the microphone as loud as he can. Like it's all like people like far away. It's like, I'm Julia. And he's like, I'm Smith. It's just fucking blow the fucking microphone out. It's really it's hilarious and funny. Then the rest of this track, this Octo Realm, is Mark kind of scatting over. What would you call that too? I've heard one person say in one review that it's Mark kind of talking over a guy playing on the radiators, banging on the radiator pipes a little bit. I want to know what he's saying. I kind of like when Mark puts a little cassette tape recording on there. I don't know if it needs to be on this track that's about to be going into Ketamine Sun, which is a cool song.
Yeah, but the old annotated fall says the kids are making your kids are making queer sounds. Let dog go and moan. You don't need all this hassle because your brain is a seed. Anthony takes a front tooth. We count them all at least K, son. AK, like a wise one. Your brother's in a pen, but then you see your electromorph. And you can't even describe it because you're a K, son. You are a piece of slop. Can't say it any better. You took a TV and nailed it to the bench of a jeweler. Your mom's mustache needs fixing.
See,
Dad-
the you took the TV and nailed it to the bench of a jeweler is the only kind of good line out in that whole thing. I mean, I mean, there's not much. Dad's washing up for once. Oh, I mean, this is not.
No.
Now that I'm reading the lyrics, because I'm always listening real hard, and it's
Uh-huh.
hard to see what he's saying. But I think it's better if you don't know what he's saying
No, yeah.
on that part. Yeah, but mates, there's a lot more to get into, and there's a lot more good shit coming up on side B. I'm starting with Ketamine Sun. So until next time, we are the fall.
We are the best.